All right, well, good evening, everybody. I'm glad that you're all joining us. There's some new names on the phone this time, or on the line. We've got quite a few folks here, but it looks like we should have probably about everybody that's going to show up. If we haven't met yet, my name is Kevin Ross, and I'm Pacific Northwest District Chairman, and with us on the line tonight are Adrian Riney, who's our Event Logistics Manager, Cindy LeBeau, the Regional Director from Oregon, and Aaron McCallum, the President of Washington First Robotics, and also Susan Martucci, who is our Volunteer Manager and our FLL partner. So welcome, and this is going to be one of the shorter briefings that we do because I got stuff to do. We're recording this. If somebody that you know needs to see this, we will have this posted up on our website a little bit later tonight. All right, here's what we're going over tonight. We want to very quickly go through the remaining things on our workshop and events calendar, show you the calendar of important deadlines. I want to give you a little update on how the district is looking. We're going to talk briefly about the participation fees, talk about how the invoices are going to go out, because all this is going to happen here in the next couple of weeks, and then talk a little bit about team branding. As always, if you have a question, you can type the question into the questions box, and Adrian will be watching that sort of stuff, and will let us know if we need to break in for a question. The computer I'm using right now has 5 monitors, and I'm trying to figure out how to get my mouse across all of them. All right, we're good to go. So we'll get started right away with the calendar of upcoming stuff. The next thing goes, first of all, thank you so much to Gladstone Robotics down in the Portland, or I guess the Gladstone area, for hosting First Fair this year. I heard it was a hoot of a good time, and hopefully everybody learned a lot of stuff. Also, Shockwave for hosting the Mentor Roundtable. Very much appreciate all of the teams that are doing those sort of things. Last weekend we had our first workshop in the Seattle area, down in Tacoma actually, with SOTA. So thanks to Ken Luthi and his team for doing those. These are a really great opportunity for everybody to get together and share what we know, and hopefully make our first community just that much stronger. The next 2 workshops are this weekend. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of this. On Saturday, the Bearbots, it's up at Cascade High School. Neil Palachek and his group are going to be up there. I'm going to be up there as well, and I think Jim Wright's going to be there. And so we have a good calendar of stuff. I'll show you the calendar on that in just a minute. And then also Skunkworks, thanks so much to Bob Steele and his whole team for doing a workshop in the Seattle area. So there's lots of opportunities for you to get your kids and your new mentors and in and sort of involve the community and to see what other teams do and how it's done. So that's coming up this weekend. On the 17th, we originally had a leadership workshop scheduled. We ended up replacing that with so we're not going to do the leadership one that was scheduled, but we do have the Washington Opportunity Scholarship coming in for Washington State juniors and seniors. This is more oriented for Washington State folks. It's going to talk about the scholarships that are available through the Washington Opportunity Scholarship Fund. If you've got juniors and seniors trying to figure out how to pay for college, by all means, you should attend. In Washington State, on December 5th and 6th, and again on the 12th and 13th, so I'll cover all of these at once, we are doing the first LEGO League qualifying tournaments, and they are spread all across the state. We are absolutely looking for volunteers, judges, and we're also looking for teams. If your team is looking for some some extra outreach opportunities and would like to put together something that looks really good on your Chairman's Award, I highly recommend that they all look into seeing if they can find a local FLL event to volunteer for. It's great for teams of students, even if you can just send 4 or 5 students from your team that would like to come help out. We really use the help. It's a really great experience for the students to get involved with their community and find out what it is that they're capable of doing. And it, like I said, this is always looks good on your Chairman's Award. So just a quick, I just want to show you what is up on the schedule. Up in Everett, this is the schedule for the workshops for this weekend. There's a number of different topics being hosted. Depending on how many people actually show up, we may have to adjust this slightly, but we'd love for your team to come check this out. Doors open at 9. We sort of kick it off around 9:30, 9:40, somewhere in there with a hello and a welcome. So try and be there by 9:30. At 10 and 11, we are going to run a series of workshops. We generally, those are mirrored again in the afternoon with a couple of exceptions. So everybody gets a chance to see several different topics. There are topics here, technical topics, team and fundraising topics, rookie jumpstart, and some training for your new mentors. So I'll be doing a new mentor workshop with our friend Marnie from the Bruins, and I'll also be doing a pneumatics workshop. I'm pretty sure that Jim Wright has signed up to do some stuff. It's actually going to be a great event. So if you can, bring as many students as you would like. Please, if you get a chance, and you know how many you're going to bring, or even if you have a good guesstimate, if you go to the Washington First Robotics calendar and you click on this event, you'll find a sign-up sheet. It's a SurveyMonkey sheet. And we'd really appreciate you letting us know that you're coming so that we're able to plan better. All right? So right along the same lines, on the same day, another event is happening at Aviation High School. It's down by Boeing Field. This is the schedule they've got worked out for the day. Again, several different tracks offered multiple times during the day. Again, there's also a sign-up sheet on the Washington First Robotics website. Everybody is invited to attend. It's not if you're an Oregon team and want to come on up, we welcome you absolutely to do so. Eastern Washington teams, come on over. We're happy to see you. All right. There's no cost for either of these. You might want to bring a little bit of money for lunch, or be prepared to bring your own lunch. I know that aviation you're on your own for lunch, and the details are on the website. So, okay, enough of that. Let's talk about the calendar of deadlines that are coming up. As you know, registration is currently open. Kickoff. So there are a couple of things that weren't open last time we met. Right now, kickoff registration has opened, and you need to go in and pick a kickoff date. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Also open right now are third play registrations. If you would like to register for a third play, you're welcome to do so. We'll show you the current availability of spots coming up here in just a few minutes. On the 12th, on 11/12, unrestricted registration begins on usfirst.org, and what that means is that you are welcome to go out and register for any other event that you would like to go to in terms of going to traditional regionals and those sorts of things. So you're absolutely welcome to do that. I believe that is also the day that if you want to do inter-district registrations, if you want to go play in Michigan or one of the other districts, you're able to go and sign up to attend one of those events as well. Coming up on Friday, the 13th, the Washington First Robotics grant system closes. Keep this deadline in mind. We're going to talk about it here again in a few minutes. If you haven't already done so, please go on and fill out one of these. Every Pacific Northwest team needs to do this, even if you're in Oregon or if you're in Washington, if you're a private school. It doesn't really matter. There's some information that we need from you. I'll talk about that here in just a little bit. On the 23rd, registration for all events closes, as does registration for kickoff. So those are the big milestones and deadlines for the month. I believe that is pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Kickoff registration. So most of you already done this. A couple of you have not. So this process means that you're going to register to go to a kickoff location somewhere in Washington or Oregon. There's a number of them to look at. In Washington State, we're doing them in Auburn, in Mount Lake Terrace, and in Cheney. Adrian, I don't believe we're doing one in Central Washington, are we?
That is correct. We're not doing one in Central Washington.
Okay. And then in Oregon, I believe we've got kickoffs in Corvallis, and oh goodness, I'm drawing a blank. Adrian,
I can do that. We're doing one at LaSalle Stewart Center at the University of Portland, and then our LaSalle Stewart Center, is in Corvallis. University of Portland obviously is in Portland, and Klamath Falls is the third one down in Oregon.
Okay, so some of you are new to FIRST, so what this means is this is where we are all going to go on January 9th, early in the morning, to watch kickoff live. The important thing for you to register this is where your kit of parts is going to be sent. You need to register to let us know where that's going to go. If you fail to do so, you will have to make arrangements with FIRST for them to ship you your robot kit. I will warn you, it costs several $100s to do that. If you register for one of our local kickoffs, shipping is free. So you really, really do want to do that. If you are not planning on attending a kickoff, you can still register for a kickoff location and have your kit of parts sent there, and you can arrange for a surrogate team. To do this, to do that step, you should be in contact with, let's give it to either Debbie Kerr, or you should get, if you're in Oregon, or you should get a hold of Adrian Rimey in Washington State, and we will help you with the surrogate pickup form. You can read about it in section, I think it's one of the sections of in the FRC manual. So there you go. There is still room at all of our kickoff sites, so feel free to do that. Dead horse, beat it. Oh man, it's pulverized. Good. The status of our district. We currently have 158, and we expect to have 158 teams this year. That's up from 152. We actually lost, or not lost, but a few teams decided to retire, and that's fine. That's sort of normal attrition for us. So I think we actually have 10 or 11 new teams, and so we welcome them with open arms. Congratulations to all of our new teams.
And actually, Kevin, we have 13 new teams. We have 9 in Washington and 4 in Oregon.
Yay! So, good job, everybody. I know a lot of you worked really hard to help get these new teams started. It should be a feather in your cap to do so, so we're really, really excited about that. We are now going to hold 9 district events. Those have already been set, and actually I'll show you here in a minute what that calendar looks like. District Championship will be at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Portland, April 6th through the 9th. So if you're lucky enough to proceed or would like to come watch, that's when that is. Most of our events are at capacity. 3 of them do still have room. And you're going to notice on the next sheet, we'll show you the event sizes. We had to increase event sizes in a couple of the metropolitan Seattle area, in the Puget Sound area, just to accommodate the teams, that we had a lot of teams. So here we go. So the red events are full. The yellow events still have room. So if you're looking for a third play, Philomath is available. We have 1 spot at Mount Vernon. Although if you would like to go into Mount Vernon, put yourself on the wait list. We do have room, a little bit of capacity. We could probably bump that up if we needed to. And also West Valley, if you want to do a third play, feel free to register for West Valley. Again, that's another site that we could probably increase the venue size a little bit. The third play costs about $1,000. I'll be talking about that a little bit later. Actually, I'm going to talk about that next. Turns out that's the next slide, but there you go. Those are our events and our dates. Third plays, they cost $1,000, but a third event, the third chronological event that you play, will not count for points. You can win almost any of the other awards. You can win the other awards, but you won't get any additional district points for competing. Okay. And this is especially popular for larger teams who would like to split things up. It's good for teams who feel like they would like to have a lot more practice. And it's a good way to sort of mix up things so that, if your team would like to continue competing and go travel and see some of the other teams, that'd be awesome. Okay. Now, starting on the 12th, you're able to register also to travel to another district. Now, the rules for that are slightly different. You're indicating your intent and desire to go to one of those events. It is a commitment. If you do sign up for one and you get in, they do expect you to come out. This is like the last round of picks. So if you wanted to go to, say, Michigan or somewhere like that, you will be picked at the absolute end of registration. Inter-district plays, you are not eligible for any awards nor any points. You're going there strictly to play and to have the experience of meeting teams from other parts of the country. The inter-district play does not affect the chronological order of your events. So if you were to sign up for a week 1, for example, in Michigan, that it has no bearing on what you do in our district. We will point out that teams are going to receive a separate invoice for third play if you're going to go to a traditional regional or inter-district play. You will be billed by Washington First Robotics for that. It will be on a completely separate invoice from your team participation fee, and we will handle that, and I probably beat that one to death. So that's sort of the basic plan. Okay. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is the participation fees. As we've been stating since last year, the participation fee for this year is $10,866, and nobody is panicking because we got you covered here. We've been, thanks to Aaron and Cindy and our respective boards of directors, we've been out fundraising on your behalf, and it's been a very, very busy thing that's been going on. So we've raised most of the difference between if you'll remember from the previous briefings, we told you that we're going to be somewhere between $5,000 and $6,800. We're pretty sure that it's going to be somewhere below 66. Honestly, we are still collecting some last minute stuff, and we haven't done the full allocations. I can't tell you your team's specific number, but just sort of in broad generalities, we did pretty good at reaching our goal. And so we believe that we should be under that maximum number that we gave you at this point, and we're continuing to work that down. So you'll know the actual answer here fairly soon. But thank you to both Cindy down in Oregon and to Aaron up here in Washington State for doing an amazing job at going out and raising funds on all of our teams' behalves. We really do appreciate that. Okay.
Hey, Kevin.
Hello.
It's Erin. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you to the teams, because I know that change is hard at times, but it really has proven to be effective when we work together and show the significant footprint that FIRST has across the Pacific Northwest District. So great job. This will be the toughest year, and going forward, we should see even greater success. So thank you very much for your help.
Absolutely, yeah. So, and this has gone really well, and to the people that we go out and talk to, it's much easier for us to just give them the amount that it costs for everything, and it's much easier for them to grok rather than that old system that we were using where it was sort of a weird piecemeal thing. So we believe this is actually working out very, very well for everybody. All right, now please remember this new grant thing, this new grant system it has been open. We still have about 30 or, well, actually I'll show you on the next slide. Some of you do still need to fill out that form. It doesn't take very long, so we need your help in doing that. And actually the next slide's got more to say about that, so I'll get there. So far we've raised over $650,000 to offset all of those, all the increase in participation fees. And again, we continue to work on that, and you know, it's our goal for this to cost you guys less in the end. And I think next year we're going to be in better shape. So thank you all for sticking it out as we sort of work through this new system. To this end, we've asked a lot of teams to submit their budgets, and you know, and it's really important that it allows us to show some of the donors what it is that's going on. The donors are happy to contribute. They dislike not knowing or only getting partial information. So it's really important that we give them as much information as we can. Okay, and some of the donors absolutely require this stuff. So this grant is open until Friday, November 13th, which is this Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific. So please, 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 if you don't believe your team has done this, find out if from your lead mentor if somebody's done it, and if not, somebody just needs to go do it. It really didn't take very long, okay? You can find it on our website. There's the big, long, ugly link. Otherwise, go to firstwa.org, click on Programs, First Robotics Competition, and FRC Grants, and that will allow you to find that grant application. All right. Wade's asked an extremely pertinent question. Is there a list of the teams who have done this that they can check themselves off on? Aaron?
No, they cannot check themselves off of a list, but if they're curious, if they email me and put their team number in the email, I can confirm whether or not they've applied. Yep.
And my guess is that we will send out a reminder email. I'm seeing
yes, I sent out reminder emails both last Monday and this Monday. So if you did not receive an email from me yesterday, that means you have registered. But if you're not sure, still feel free to email me, and I'd be happy to double check for you.
Yep. Okay. Thank you for that, Adrian. All right. So, and we want to make sure that everybody's aware that there's this thing called donor intent. And so we try the best we can to raise unrestricted funds, which means they'll let us put those funds where they need to be. But some donors do request that donations are allocated to whatever circumstance fits their giving desires. And that's everything from you know, from geography. It might just be only in Oregon or only in Washington. It could be based on need or underserved or number of girls. It's just, there's a really, really wide range. So the reason that I'm telling you this is if you guys were to sit down together and compare your team invoices, they may be slightly different amounts based on what grants we were able to get for you. And unrestricted funds, we're trying to do a good job of spreading that as evenly as possible. But some of the donors are quite specific about where they want their funding going. And so if you end up comparing two invoices, there are going to be differences in them. And that's, you should probably, you know, you would expect that. So that, and it's up to, we have a fiduciary responsibility to honor that donor intent. Hopefully that makes a great deal of sense to you. Now, the next slide is sort of aimed at Washington State teams in specific. I think 92 of you applied for OSPI grants, and you should be notified within the next week about your OSPI grants, and congratulations. Everybody got, 92 teams got grants, and I think we had 92 applicants. That's more applicants we've had in the past, so the money got spread a little slightly thinner. However, I believe everybody got something, and it was a competitive grant, so they got scored the way they got scored. All right. Now, the one thing that I want to make sure that you're very aware of is that we worked with the state legislature, with the people who write both the House and the Senate budgets, and they agreed to help fund us. The way that worked is that WFR receives funding via team participation fees rather than getting a block grant. So what that means is that all of the teams that got grants were awarded an extra $2,000 from OSPI. So if you've gotten grants in the past, you may notice that the number is substantially larger than it was in the past. We want you to realize that that means that your WFR grant, the grant that Washington First Robotics gives your team, if you got an OSPI grant, is going to be about $2,000 less than other teams are getting, than teams who didn't get the OSPI grant. And so it is a net zero. Most of you will still end up getting more money than you have in the past, but we just want to be upfront with you that your part of the WFR grant is the knowledge that you have been given a $2,000 check that you're going to give to us. Okay, so we just want to be upfront about that, and so that you know what to expect. So hopefully that made sense to you and pretty straightforward. Now, the other thing about the invoicing, and we'll show you a sample invoice here in a sec, is that many of you got Boeing, NASA, Murdoch, and other grants that are normally administered by FIRST in New Hampshire. And congratulations for that. I mean, this goes to show you that even on a national level, big corporations and donors and governments really value what it is that you are doing with your team. So we're really excited about that. Teams who have received grants from national sponsors that were normally credited to your FIRST account, you will see a credit on your invoice from Washington First Robotics. So if you got a Boeing grant, I think they were $3,550 this year, that will be reflected, and when we send you your invoice, you will find your grant amount listed as a line item, okay? And we are in constant contact with New Hampshire about this, and FIRST has been working with us extremely well on making sure all of this works out to your benefit. So now let's talk, hopefully that I'm looking at questions. Actually, we're doing pretty good on questions.
Hey, Kevin, since you've paused, there's one thing that I've been asked to reiterate,
yeah,
and it has to do with third place, so I'm going back just a little bit.
Oh, sure.
For registration and invoicing purposes, your third play is the third event you register for.
No.
But when it comes to points, your third play is the event, the third event chronologically that you attend.
Correct.
So if you are attending a week 1 and a week 5 event and then register for Mount Vernon as a third play, Mount Vernon for billing purposes is your third play. But for point purposes, Mount Vernon is your second play and Auburn High School is your third play.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure, because of the questions that everybody, that was clear, because it is a bit messy.
Yes, and none of this has changed. This is the same process that we've used in the past. So it is chronologically the first 2 events that you go to, no matter which order you registered for them in, are your 2 point gathering events. Okay, if you are going to an inter-district, so if you are going to another district, that other district has no effect, so you don't earn points at that, even if it's the first event you go to. So that's the one hitch. If you're not going out of state, don't worry about it. If you are going out of state and are confused about it, you can contact me. I think the number of teams that do that is going to be very small. All right, we have a couple other questions have popped up. OSPI grants historically comes with use for travel and materials. Actually, Bruce, it also allows you to pay for registration fees, and you'll notice that in the grant. OSPI understands that you've got, when you filled out this grant, there were various things coming from various directions. They're fine with slightly modified budgets as long as the money got used to do as long as the OSPI money gets used to run your first team, they're actually pretty flexible about that. Hopefully that made sense to you. Does the invoice amount in use include? Maggie is asking, does the invoice amount in use include the championship fee? Okay, yes, the invoice amount that we're talking to you is for all play in the Pacific Northwest District from your first two events, and if you make it to the championship event. There will not be another invoice for you this season. That was the other big change that we made. So this is inclusive of the district championship. So there's no other $4,000 fee. That all got wrapped in, and that's how it works. Does that, hopefully that made sense to you, Maggie? All right, let's talk about the invoices. We're getting close. So the invoices for all this stuff should be sent out by Monday, November 23rd. They may actually come out early, but we'll definitely get them done by the end of the day on Monday the 23rd. We need you to kind of think ahead. Everybody's purchasing department works at different speeds. We do need to receive payment or a purchase order to Washington First Robotics for that full amount on Tuesday, December 8th. Instructions will go out with the invoice on how to do all of that. It's important for you to get that in by the 8th. That's kind of right up to the last minute before First ships us the kits. It is possible that if you give us a late payment that your kit of parts may not get shipped, and then it's going to be expensive to get the thing shipped to you. So please, please, please be sure to be done by the 8th. We'd really appreciate it to be done by the 4th. That would allow us to sort of move on and get everything done. All right. So your options for payment are going to be a purchase order or a check. We can take credit cards, but we'd really prefer that you did a purchase order or a check. The credit cards charges 3.5%. And if you did that, if every team did that, we'd go broke. Because we run on what you would call ultra thin margins. So if you can, normal purchasing works great. All right. Here is what a sample invoice is probably going to look like. We're billing my team from about 10 years ago. So you can see there's a participation fee, which is that full amount. This team got a Boeing team grant, $35.50. They got a grant from Massive Dynamics Corporation, who's a lovely sponsor, and they got a 3200 WFR grant. And so the team is actually going to owe about $3,100. Now, remember, this is kind of a sample of what it's sort of going to look like. The numbers on here are going to vary wildly based on your team. So keep that in mind. We still expect for most teams to be most teams should be below the 6,600 mark unless you got an OSPI grant, in which case you'll be below the 8,600 mark because of that extra 2 grant. Hopefully that made sense. If you end up confused and need help with that, you can go ahead and contact us. All right. Any questions about this? I think this is pretty straightforward. Okay. So the WFR stuff, again, the grants and payment due dates, the grant thing is due on the 13th, and it's all of our donors and all of our sponsors usually ask for the same information as who are you giving this money to, and do they meet certain criteria, and we need to be able to document that. Part of our grant system is collecting that information, so we really do appreciate your guys filling that in. It's kind of important. The 23rd invoices we mail to the main contact for your team. We are going to get the main contact for your team out of RIMS sometime probably about, let's go with by the 14th, or no, let's see, what's next the following Monday?
The following Monday
14th, 15th, 16th,
is
17th.
the 16th.
16th. So on 11/16, so sometime in the next week, if you don't think that the main contact information for your team is correct, you need to go into Tim's and fix that, because we are going to download the list from Tim's on next Monday, and that's who we're going to send the bill to. So please make sure that's right. And then again, on 12/8, your bill will be due. All right, we got some more questions here. Wade's asking, at what point in the season do we find out if we made it to the district championship?
Okay, Kevin, can I take that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, after week 4, we will email the teams that mathematically have made it to the district championship. We will do that on either Sunday or Monday. We have a week 5 event that runs Saturday and Sunday. So I will try and get that email out Sunday night if I can get that information vetted by US First. At worst, it will go out first thing Monday morning. And my first thing is like 5 o'clock in the morning. So it will go out very early Monday morning if it does not go out Sunday night.
Yep. Okay, so hopefully that made some sense. This is actually all I really have to say about payments and grants. I didn't want to just totally belabor all of this, but we really appreciate you guys' your gracious professionalism as we get through this first season having to do that sort of stuff. And Wade's pointing out, obviously you have travel issues. So travel issues when it comes to the district championship is I would do all of your paperwork and tell them, especially with your school, be sure that they realize, hey, there's a possibility that we're going to go to this district championship. I do all your district paperwork beforehand, and sort of get all of those sorts of things in the works. Oh, for those of you who don't know,
Kevin?
Wade, by the way, in case you're wondering, teams, why I'm picking on Wade and giving him so much information, Wade is from Alaska. We have one team from Alaska joining our district this year, so his travel issues are different than yours. So we will work with Wade directly because he'll need some extra help. Go ahead, Adrian.
Oh, I was, you derailed me.
Sorry.
That's okay. If I think of it, I will interrupt. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yay. So anything else about payments? Cindy or Aaron, what did I miss?
So one thing just for all of the teams to think about, and I know in the fall it is a super hectic time for you, but the sooner that you can complete your end of year team report, and it's a real simple form on our website, and I would suggest you do it in April or early May, so then you can relax over the summer before the start of the school year, the better. These questions that we're asking in terms of team demographics are really important to funders, and believe it or not, we have an incredible case and an incredible community that we're supporting in terms of accessibility for students, but we historically just have not had the bandwidth to document it. So I would encourage you to incorporate that and really incorporate it into your teams. So it's not just a mentor exercise, but this is all part of stewardship of your donors. We're really trying to build those relationships. Yes, they may give funding to Washington First Robotics, but what's important is to transfer those relationships to your teams so that you really can recognize the companies, the individuals, the foundations, and certainly the states of Oregon and Washington that are supporting you.
Thank you. All right. So now we're going to talk a little bit right here at the end about some team branding stuff. In case some of you, now I know some of you may have not seen this, Did you know that the name of the game this year is Stronghold? And you can see it sort of got a sort of a medieval castle thing going on. So the teaser is, you can go up to the first website and go check out the teaser. This is kind of cool. This is the first year I can remember that they actually told us the name of the game beforehand and sort of gave us a hint at what the challenge sort of theme is going to be. We have no idea what the game is or what the task is, but I think that's pretty cool. One of the things that you may or may not have seen is they have something new called team standards. Those are those little sort of like medieval flags that you would put your team's or your family crest or logo, or in this case, your team's crest and logo. And so they have this thing called a team standard for First Stronghold, and they encourage us to actually go ahead and get started on that. So I think this is a great project for some kids and to kind of think about this thing. I'm up here on the First Robotics website, and if you go to the FRC blog, you will find a couple of weeks ago the team standards thing, so you could probably check that out. Now, which is kind of cool because it gives your team a little opportunity to think about team branding. And actually, that's one of the slides I wanted. Our next topic is we'd like you to actually. I think it'd be really cool if all of our teams managed to actually do one of these team standards. So we're letting everybody know about it early so that you can start thinking about it. Check out the first website. It's up on the blog, and you can start on this now. And there's specifications on how they're actually supposed to work. In conjunction with that, this is part of establishing your team's brand, and we actually have planned a team marketing and branding session for students and mentors. It's going to be webinar based. It's going to be on Tuesday, the 1st of December, and at 7 p.m. And they're going to be talking about things like logos and press releases and sort of common materials that your team can work up for themselves. We'll also give you the links to where they can find all the logos and how you can identify yourself with the Pacific Northwest and with Washington First or Oregon First. So we'll have a plan and a resource kit that your students will be able to check out, and that some of that may end up being useful for your team standards. So I would highly encourage your sort of marketing and business folks to set aside a little time on Tuesday the 1st at 7 p.m. and we'll have a really good webinar and show you where to find things and answer questions and give you some tips and pointers. How did I do, Erin? Did I cover that well?
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
And we think this is really exciting because one of our pushes is to make sure that companies throughout the Pacific Northwest identify first teams. And what we really want to do is make sure that if your team is going in to learn about or to try and educate about first, that rather than you coming in as the Chief Self Robotics team, we want to make sure that you're walking in and making sure that they realize that you are a first team and help make that connection between what we are doing to help recruit and get the message out and what your team is helping to do. And that way, companies get lots of requests and they hear a lot of things from the area. And if they know that you're part of the first community rather than just a robotics club, that actually does make a difference. We've seen this before where there's a disconnect between the two, and we're trying to remedy that. So this is really important stuff. Our communications director, Kelly Essig, is putting together a really great package, and we encourage you to take advantage of her efforts. Okay. With that, that is actually all that we had for tonight. So I didn't want to keep you guys for extended hours. This is going to get recorded. The slides are going to be up on the Washington First Robotics website, firstwa.org. If you look under, where's my web browser? It was here a sec ago. If you look on firstwa.org, we're trying to consolidate where we're keeping stuff. If you look at our programs, First Robotics Competition and FRC Communications, if you click on this, you will find all of our team briefings and all of our email blasts and all records of all of the communications that have been sent out. We're trying to be very diligent this year, and we are making sure that all of that information goes into one of these. So if you click on...
And Kevin?
Yes?
Actually, this and any workshop presentations that I get recordings on go under one that says workshops and webinars. This was getting so crowded that I split off. If you go to that same path just below team communications, it says workshops and webinars. And so that way it's easier for people to see those versus the emails that I send out.
Oh, okay. So communications has all of the emails.
Yes.
And the actual webinars and slides and the rest of that stuff and links to the videos will be under this one. Thank you for clarifying that.
Hey,
all right.
Kevin, this is Cindy.
Hi,
Can you hear
Cindy.
me?
Yes.
I just wanted to go back really quickly to mention something to the Oregon teams.
Sure.
That I've had a lot of confusion with people not understanding what the Washington grant is. And so if there is still confusion after this webinar, please email me or call me and I can explain it further. Okay,
yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. So the Washington First Robotics Grant, and we probably could have named that better, but we did, we've generated too many names. We really apologize about this. We've got so many names going. The WFR grant is the one where we have collected money and are redistributing it to all the Pacific Northwest teams. I won't go into all of the reasons why PNW first ended up not working out the way the name didn't work out the way we expected. It's very complicated. We don't mean to imply that somehow the WFR grants are not just for Washington teams. They are for all Pacific Northwest teams. Next year we will rectify all of the naming problems that we've got. So so the WFR grants are for Washington, Oregon, and Alaska teams. Did that help?
Thanks, Kevin.
Absolutely. Hey, you know, we're volunteers. We make mistakes constantly. We got into the naming thing got us into trouble with at numerous levels. So we apologize about that, and we understand it's a little weird at the moment. We apologize. We will get it fixed. All right. We are all still 100% dedicated to making sure that this is a great program for your students and for all of your volunteers. So we certainly appreciate your putting up with all of the wrinkles that Kevin's and his snap decisions sometimes make. We appreciate that. Okay, with that, let's call it an end of a fine webinar, and we look forward to seeing you at the workshops. Remember to register for them, and if nothing else, we will. I don't know that we're going to have a team briefing in December. Adrian,
We are. That's the branding and marketing that you did the save the date for on December 1st.
But that really isn't really a team briefing. It's more of a separate webinar.
No, our next team briefing, and I'll start adding January and February dates here soon, but our next FRC team briefing is scheduled for the Thursday after kickoff, or I mean after bag and tag, just like last year.
So in February.
And that is when we will discuss the district event timeline. Okay. If we feel we need to add one in January, we will, but right now there's not one scheduled.
Yeah. All right, everybody. So thank you on behalf of everybody, and especially the students and all of the volunteers. Thank you for doing what you're doing with your kids. That's why we're all doing it, and we so much appreciate your help. We will talk to you some other time. Bye-bye.